चाबुक के डर से तो सर्कस का शेर भी उछल के कुर्सी पे बैठना सीख जाता है, लेकिन ऐसे शेर को हम वेल ट्रेन्ड कहते हैं, वेल एजुकेटेड नहीं। India's first education policy came in 1968 in Indira Gandhi's government, and the second education policy came in 1986 in Rajiv Gandhi government. This was further modified in 1992 by the PV Narasimha Rao government, and now after 34 years, we welcome the much awaited change in the form of the new education policy, and I am so happy about that, and I am sure my panelists will agree with me on this, because on paper, this new policy is sheer perfection. Talking about the implementation, that only time can tell. So, hi everyone, and a very good evening. I welcome you all to a new episode of EduNation TV powered by the Global School Awards. Today, we'll be discussing about how India will be shifting from burden of school bags to boon of learning, a light on the new education policy. Today, we at EduNation TV are delighted and extremely humbled to host the leaders of the educational institutions from different corners of our country. I welcome Mr. Soni Virdi, Chairman, Mount Zion School from Sikkim, and Mr. Sukhwinder Singh, Managing Director of Dr. Holmes Academy from Bathinda, Punjab, and Dr. Vivek Thakur, Managing Director, Stanford World School, Dharamshala. So I'll be just firstly beginning with how this new policy has been brought into the existence and what it will focus on, and then we'll be moving on to our panelists to analyze various questions for the entire policy. So in India, a large groundbreaking change in education was right to education. Article 21A was inserted in the Indian Constitution, because of which children from the age of 6 to 14 were provided free and compulsory education. This new education policy is not a sheer suddenness of a move. This was a part of the manifesto of BJP elections back in 2014. In 2015, when Mrs. Smriti Irani was HRD Minister, a committee was formed, whose chairman was Mr. TSR Subramaniam. This committee submitted its report on 7th of May 2016. The objectives of this committee included to improve the quality of education, credibility of education, and addressing the gaps in the implementation. In October 2016, Ministry released the draft policy and asked for the suggestions on this policy, but unfortunately, nothing happened back then. So after this, a new committee was formed under the chairmanship of former ISRO chief, Dr. K. Kasturi Rangam, which included 9 other members as well. This committee made the draft of new education policy, which was finally passed as the new education policy of 2020. The 3 most important changes of this new education policy include, firstly, renaming of HRD Ministry as Ministry of Education. Second, that the government has proposed to increase the GDP investment from current 3% to at least 6%, which is a huge number. And thirdly, there has been a focus to increase the gross enrollment ratio to 50% by 2035. These numbers are achievable only if we bring a dynamic change in the existing approach. This policy has been made by a holistic approach in which academic, vocational, and extracurricular activities have been given an equal footing. And all focus has been made that the children can focus only on that area in which they have interest and thus develop their skill accordingly. And when they leave their schools and colleges, they are ready for the real world. So the revolutionary changes in this new education policy addresses to some of the most default-based education system we were into. So I would request and welcome Mr. Soni Virdi to address on what is this new pattern of 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, all over our country, India, people have been speaking about 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. If you want to know, it is in a very simple term, then it is 5 years of early childhood education, that is nursery, junior KG, senior KG, 1 and 2. There are 5 years, and plus 3, that is 1, 2, and 3. That's 3 years. Then another 3 is 4, 5, and 4 nursery, junior KG, senior KG, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8 is 3, and then 9, 10, 11, 12 are 4. These are 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. Now you see, Now, if we want to know little inside deep about this 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, then government has reframed the education system. One is early child care education, that is 5 year old, then 3 year old, then 3 year old. That's preschool, foundation school, and then preschool, that is grade 1 and 2, preparatory school, that is grade 3 to 5, and middle school 6 to 8, and then secondary school 9, 10, 11, 12. Now here government also says that there'll be, you see, now state government will have to be in tandem with the central government. State government will have to make sure that 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 concept works all over its state. Now, how does it work? You see, Government of India, National Education Policy says when the child is at grade 3, there have to be one exam, which we used to call it a board exam. When I was a
Right.
student, then we used to have board exam in 5th standard. When I was in class 5, we used to have board exam conducted by the state government. Then when I was in school, when I was in class 8, then at 8th level also, they used to have board exam. Now the same concept government has revived. When the student will be at 3rd standard, level 3, there will be board exam, state-wide conducting, and when the child will be in the grade 5 and grade 8, and examination of class 10 and 12 will be there. You see, this is how this 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 ratio distribution has been done. If you want to know more about it, we can discuss. Otherwise, when it actually starts from maybe next year or next to next year, then whole nation will know how it works.
Right, absolutely right, sir. So we completely agree with Mr. Virdi. I'll just bring in Dr. Vivek for the next thing we'd like to address on. So, Dr. Vivek, what, according to you, what is the importance of vocational training and bagless schooling according to this new education policy?
As we know, our new education policy brings a lot of positive changes in our education system.
Right.
One of the positive changes is language. More emphasis on local language or mother tongue. So I would like to give my answer in Hindi, ताकि हम अभी से एडजस्ट कर लें इसमें.
जी
तो
सर.
वोकेशनल एजुकेशन अभी तक जो था वो हमारा हिमाचल की मैं बात करूं तो हमारा आफ्टर 10th के बाद चलता था कुछ स्कूल्स में +1 +2 में, और ये एक ऐसा अनऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर है पूरे इंडिया में जिसको ऐसे देखा जाता है कि जो बच्चे अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं मिल पाती है या जो स्कूल नहीं जा पाते हैं, जो पढ़ने में अच्छे नहीं होते हैं, तो वो किसी कारपेंटर के पास जाके या प्लम्बर के पास जाके काम सीखते हैं अपना लाइवलीहुड चलाने के लिए. तो ये बहुत अच्छा एक पॉजिटिव मूव है गवर्नमेंट का कि इसको स्कूल लेवल पे ही स्टार्ट किया जा रहा है. इससे ये होगा कि बच्चा ये सीखेगा कि एवरी प्रोफेशन हैज ए रिस्पेक्ट, और हर प्रोफेशन जो है वो छोटा नहीं है, हर काम की एक अपनी वैल्यू है. तो मैं अगर हिमाचल की बात करूं तो हमारे पास इंडस्ट्रीज नहीं है, हमारा ग्रीन स्टेट है, इंडस्ट्रीज यहाँ पे लग भी नहीं सकती हैं. तो हमारा जो मेन इकोनॉमी चलता है वो हमारा टूरिज्म सेक्टर से चलता है या एग्रीकल्चर से चलता है. अभी मैं लास्ट ईयर की बात करूं तो हमारे पास लगभग 18 लाख टूरिस्ट आए हैं ऑल ओवर वर्ल्ड से, जिसमें 3 लाख फॉरेन टूरिस्ट हैं और लगभग 14 लाख टूरिस्ट जो है डोमेस्टिक हैं. तो एक इस सेक्टर में हम ऐसे काम कर सकते हैं कि अगर स्कूल लेवल पे ही हम ट्रेनिंग दें एज ए टूरिस्ट गाइड की, तो ये काफी बेनिफिशियल रहेगा हमारी स्टेट के लिए. अभी अब देखिए, आप पेंडेमिक के टाइम में, कोविड-19 के टाइम में हमारे कम से कम 6 से 7 लाख लोग बाहर से वापिस आए हैं हिमाचल में, जो लोग बाहर काम करते थे, जिनको यहाँ पे अपॉर्चुनिटीज नहीं मिल पाई. तो अगर स्टेट में ही ये सब चीजें उनको मिलेंगी तो काफी बेटर रहेगा. वोकेशनल एजुकेशन अगर स्कूल लेवल स्टार्ट होती है तो काफी अच्छी है. अगर मैं होटल्स की बात करूं हिमाचल में, क्योंकि हमारे पास मेन सेक्टर जो है टूरिज्म ही है, तो मैं इससे ही फोकस डालना चाहूंगा कि ये कैसे हमारे एजुकेशन सिस्टम अगर में आता है तो कैसे ये बेनिफिट रहेगा उसमें। तो लगभग हमारे पास 4000 होटल्स हैं हिमाचल में और लगभग 2000 के आसपास होम स्टे हैं। तो अगर होटल्स की बात करें तो होटल्स में काम करने के लिए सभी लोग चाहिए, कारपेंटर, प्लम्बर, मैसन, शेफ्स चाहिए, वेटर्स चाहिए। तो अगर इस वोकेशनल एजुकेशन अगर हमारे स्कूल सिस्टम में इम्प्लीमेंट होती है तो इससे क्या इस सेक्टर को एक रिस्पेक्टफुल नजरिए से देखा जाएगा। एजुकेशन के साथ साथ लोग अपना स्किल भी बढ़ाएंगे, हमें स्किल्ड प्रोफेशनल्स मिलेंगे। और जो अभी तक जो अनऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर है जिसको अभी ऐसे देखा जाता है कि जो कुछ नहीं कर सकता वो कारपेंटर का काम करेगा या प्लम्बर काम करेगा, तो इसमें क्या होगा कि स्किल्ड प्रोफेशनलिज्म आएगा, नई टेक्निक्स, बच्चे नई इनोवेशन लेके आएंगे, एजुकेशन के साथ को सीखेंगे। और आने वाले अगर इसको कॉलेज लेवल के भी लेके जाते हैं बच्चे तो हमारे पास एक अच्छा एक मीडियम मिल सकता है लाइवलीहुड का हमारे बच्चों को।
ट्रू। मतलब सर व्हाट यू मीन टू से आप क्या कहना चाह रहे हैं कि जैसे एक पीरियड रखा गया है आफ्टर 6 बिटवीन द क्लास ऑफ 6 to 8 बैगलेस पीरियड, इसमें कि 10 days की ट्रेनिंग रहेगी, बच्चे बगैर बैग के स्कूल जाएंगे एंड दे कैन गेट एसोसिएटेड विद एनी कारपेंटर, एनी पर्सन हु इज इनटू बेकरी प्रोफेशन। मतलब उनको प्रैक्टिकल लर्निंग अप्रोच के थ्रू ट्रेनिंग मिलेगी और लर्निंग मिलेगी।
जी, अगर हिमाचल की बात करूं तो हमारे पास यहाँ एडवेंचर स्पोर्ट्स के लिए काफी लोग आते हैं बाहर से। और वो जैसे हम पैराग्लाइडिंग की बात करें, पैराग्लाइडिंग पायलट हैं, रिवर राफ्टर्स हैं, यहाँ पे जो लोग अपना काम करने आते हैं वो नेपाल से आते हैं, उत्तराखंड से आते हैं, जो ये लोग यहाँ पे काम करते हैं और दे अर्न इन लैक्स इन रुपीज। तो अगर ये चीजें स्कूल लेवल पे सिखाई जाएंगी तो एक ये बच्चे के सामने ये पेश होगा कि सिर्फ डॉक्टर और इंजीनियर ही एक ऐसा प्रोफेशन नहीं है जहाँ से आप एक अच्छा पैसा कमा सकते हैं, बल्कि ये चीजें भी हैं जहाँ से आप एक अच्छा पैसा इनकम कर सकते हैं।
राइट,
वो एक स्ट्रेस लेवल भी खत्म होगा कि आपको अच्छे मार्क्स लाने हैं, डॉक्टर ही बनना है या इंजीनियर ही बनना है।
राइट, ठीक है। तो वी कंप्लीटली एग्री विद यू ऑन दिस। इसके बाद वी वुड लाइक टू हैव अ टॉक विद मिस्टर सुखविंदर, जिसमें सर आई लाइक टू आस्क यू व्हाट इज द मल्टीपल एंट्री एग्जिट प्रोग्राम और द एकेडमिक बैंक ऑफ क्रेडिट्स अकॉर्डिंग टू दिस न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी।
First of all, I am very thankful to Global Awards and Edunation TV for providing this wonderful opportunity. So I want to tell you in short, this is very wonderful. It is a widely adopted procedure in many developed countries across the world. But according to our policy, it means that student who is able to complete 1 year of college will get certificate. If he or she completes 2 years of education, then the student will get a diploma. And in case completing 4 years of college, the student gets the degree. This means even if a student has to drop out because of any reason, he or she will still get the credits for the amount of education gained by her or him. And I think this is a revolutionary change in our Indian education system. And I traveled a lot according to my job. I am keen to learn new things, and I visited Finland, England, and other countries. And I think this is a good. It will be productive for our education system.
Okay, very nicely explained and portrayed by you, sir. Moving ahead, I will come back to Mr. Soni. And sir, I would like to ask you, sir, what are the changes introduced for the teachers under this new education policy?
देखिए, there are two things in about the teachers. You see, for the reference of whole country, I have the file of this National Education Policy 2020, and I have the paper here, the National Education Policy 2020. The first point that I would like to say here, I would like to answer this into two different points. One is legal side, one is moral side. Now let me speak about the moral side, because with due respect to the honorable government, with due respect to all the citizens of our country, if anyone gets hurt by what I say, my apology to them. But the present situation in India, because of this lockdown and COVID-19, the teachers who are working in the government school, private school, many of the private school teachers are in a very, very, very pathetic condition. Many of our private school teachers are in a bad shape right now because the fee payment that is not coming to our school is directly affecting the teacher's salary. Therefore, teachers for 3-4 months, they are not getting salaried. You see,
Absolutely.
but Government of India writes in clause number 5.1, I would like to read for the nation. Teacher truly shapes the future of our country. Therefore, the future of our nation, it is because of this noblest role that the teacher in India was the most respected member of the society. Only the very best and the most learned becomes the teacher. Society gave teachers or gurus what they needed in order to pass on the knowledge, skills, and ethics optimally to students. Today, even government admits here. Today, however, the status of the teachers has undoubtedly and unfortunately dropped. And the same sentence says, the high respect for teachers and the high status of the teaching profession must be revived and restored for the very best to be inspired to enter the profession. For teachers to be well motivated and empowered to innovate, and for education to therefore reach the highest and the level that are truly required to ensure the best possible future for our children and our nation. Now, even the government is admitting, and government says in clause number 5.1, the teacher must be respected and high status must be given to all the teachers. If the high status must be given to all the teachers, then we must understand when our parents, when our grandparents, some 20, 30 years, 40 years back, all the teachers were respected citizens of the country. Today, the scene has changed. It must be brought back. Now, let me talk about the legality. The question says, like, what are the changes that we see? You see, now it says 4 years of now. Point number 5.23 says by 2030. Now we have 10 years time. 10 years time for all India schools, government school as well as private schools. We are bothered about government school also, but more than that, we are bothered about private schools all over India. It says we have 10 years time, and the minimum degree qualification for teaching will be a 4-year integrated B.Ed degree. That's the must. And soon, 5.24 clause says, all B.Ed program will emphasize the inclusion of fundamental duty, that is Article 51A of the Indian Constitution, while teaching any subject or performing any activity in the school. And the Article 51A of Indian Constitution says, to strive toward excellence and all spheres of individuals so that the nation continue to rise. Nation must continue to rise. India must continue to rise. If India has to rise, then mind it, all the teachers in the nation, whether private school teachers and whether senior secondary school teacher or primary teacher or government school teacher, we must respect them. That is the difference I see here.
Okay, very nicely explained with facts and figures as well. So just explain what are the legalities and what is the current situation of the teachers. So coming to Dr. Vivek, sir, I would like to put on a question in front of you. The new policy has been criticized most on the point of language. The policy mentions that, I'll be quoting some of the things from the policy itself. The policy mentions that wherever possible, the medium of instruction till 5th grade and preferably till 8th grade and beyond will be home language, local language, or the regional language. However, it is nowhere mentioned that it is compulsory to be done. So what are your views on this regarding the language part of this new education policy?
Language part, new education policies I see as a most child-centering policy.
Right.
Language, from my point of view, thoughts are more important than language. तो ऐसा देखा जाए, अगर इसको बाहर से देखा जाए इस पॉइंट को लैंग्वेज के लिए, तो ये बच्चे के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से बहुत अच्छा है, क्योंकि जो वो घर में लैंग्वेज बोल रहा है, सुन रहा है, उसी लैंग्वेज में उसको स्कूल में पढ़ाया जाए तो उसका अंडरस्टैंडिंग ज़्यादा अच्छा होगा। लेकिन एक डाइवर्स कंट्री इंडिया में मुझे लगता नहीं कि ये ग्राउंड पे पॉसिबल पाएगा। अगर मैं हिमाचल की ये बात करूं अपनी, तो हमारे यहाँ पे हर 50 किलोमीटर में लैंग्वेज चेंज हो रही है, तो मदर टंग तो पॉसिबल ही नहीं है हमारे हिमाचल में। तो और अगर मैं इंडिया की बात करूं तो है, और 3-4 ईयर्स के बाद उसका ट्रांसफर महाराष्ट्र में हो जाता है। तो उस बच्चे के ऊपर कितना इफेक्ट पड़ेगा लैंग्वेज का, जहाँ पे वो हिंदी या इंग्लिश मीडियम पढ़ रहा होगा, बिकॉज वी डोंट हैव पर्टिकुलर लैंग्वेज, तो महाराष्ट्र वो मराठी में पढ़ेगा। तो ऑन ग्राउंड मुझे लगता नहीं है कि ये पॉसिबल हो पाएगा।
ओके सर, उसके अलावा मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूंगा, जैसे इंग्लिश, आई थिंक इन माय ओपिनियन व्हाट आई थिंक इज इंग्लिश शुड बी गिवन मोर प्रायोरिटी, बिकॉज इन टुडेज वर्ल्ड English has become a global language of communication, and according to me this is an advantage as well for India in comparison to China and rest of the Southeast Asian countries, because their people are not able to learn English in those countries. Specifically in China they focus on their language, and in India people know English better than the Asian countries, so it is definitely an advantage. In India people know English, and that is why they are able to compete with the Western countries in USA and Europe. So do you somehow agree with this, rather than just sticking to the regional language?
नहीं, आई टोटली एग्री विद यू। अगर हमको ग्लोबल लीडर्स बनना है तो हमें ग्लोबल लैंग्वेज तो अडॉप्ट तो करना पड़ेगा। और जहां तक मैंने पॉलिसी को पढ़ा है, मुझे नहीं लग रहा है कि ये कहीं कंपल्सरी होगा। ये स्कूल लेवल तक ही रहेगा कि वेदर दे वांट टू टीच इन रीजनल लैंग्वेज और दे वांट टू टीच इन इंग्लिश और हिंदी।
ओके, सो I'd like to put a general question for all, जिसमें कि मैं I'll just be quoting someone. I'll be quoting a political personality from the Delhi government. What he has said is he's Mr. Manish Sisodia, the Education Minister of Delhi. He said that, and I quote, that the new education policy is a highly regulated and poorly funded learning model. So, what are your views on this? Mr. Soni and Dr. Vivek, I just want to know both of your views on this.
Yeah, here he said poorly funded, but what I read in the national education policy that from 3% to 6% of the fund will go in the education. This is what the paper says. You see, I don't know whether it will be only confined to paper or practically it happens. You see. But it depends on the states now. It depends on the states. For example, if I speak about government of Sikkim or government of Himachal Pradesh, how competent the officers are. If the officers are very competent, then they can make the proposal and project report and give it to government of India, because the paper says that 6%, 3 to 6%. From this 6% is that 6% would be X amount. From that X amount, we need this much of amount for the welfare of our education system in the state. Now it all depends in the state government. Number one, number two. See, now the politicians have all the things to say in the for the welfare of their own political interest. They don't have much of the interest to the country and to the public, in fact, therefore let's stay away from that, but let's stick to the point of national education policy. According to me, I think this will be successful. This will help the education system to reform, and you and I will have to be torchbearer, and we have to come ahead.
Okay, sure. I also, at a personal level, want this to be successful, because only if this policy is as successful as it is in the paper, then only the India can be seen progressing in the next coming 10 years. Right. So anything on this particular point, Dr. Vivek, would you like to add anything on this particular point, just as Mr. Soni said?
As mentioned in our education policy, 6% of GDP जो है वो एजुकेशन सेक्टर में इन्वेस्ट किया जाएगा. तो ये बात तो मुझे 1968 से ही यही बोल रही है गवर्नमेंट की 6% ऑफ GDP एजुकेशन सेक्टर में खर्च होगा. तो अभी तक तो नहीं हो पाया है. अभी हमारे पास सिर्फ एक कुछ पॉइंट्स हैं एजुकेशन पॉलिसी के, ये गवर्नमेंट करेगी. अभी लॉ बनेगा, इसका रोड मैप बनेगा, तो देखते हैं अभी क्या होगा, कैसे बनता है.
Okay, so sir, जैसे you both are directors of your respective schools, you are running the schools. आपको क्या लगता है, जैसे गवर्नमेंट स्कूल्स का तो जो I figure out, it is going to be a very lengthy process because there are so many government schools where children in 5th class have shortage of teachers and there is no sound infrastructure. The students are not educated properly either because of lack of teachers or lack of infrastructure and tend to drop out early. चाहे वो गवर्नमेंट की लेवल पे हो, चाहे वो प्राइवेट इंस्टीट्यूशन की लेवल पे हो, व्हाट डू यू थिंक कि आपको कब तक लगता है कि ये इम्प्लीमेंटेशन में लाया जा सकता है एज अ डायरेक्टर ऑफ अ स्कूल? आप अपने एंड पे क्या सोचते हैं?
देखिए, हम लोग को यदि बोलता है कि कमिंग सेशन से, अभी तो वैसे भी ये इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं कर सकता बिकॉज ऑफ लॉकडाउन.
जी सर.
इफ द गवर्नमेंट सेज फ्रॉम नेक्स्ट ईयर ऑनवर्ड यू इम्प्लीमेंट, वी आर रेडी टू इम्प्लीमेंट. लेकिन इसमें एक challenges है. Let me speak about the challenge. For example, we are one of the best school in Sikkim, and the children who comes to our school comes from very renowned and good family. And if we teach them the skill of barber, no one would love to learn that. And if we teach them, come, let us learn the plumbing, the plumbing or some other things, you see, they might not learn. But in Sikkim, yes, if we teach them organic farming, yes, they might love to learn organic farming. There are many things. Like my friend Dr. Vivek Thakur said that, like Himachal Pradesh, Sikkim also is another very good example in Northeast. We are the leading state in Northeast to be a tourist spot, tourism. 60+% of our population, in business are dependent on tourism. So in the field of tourism, like before last year only, Sikkim's data says we had 20 lakh tourists visited Sikkim state. तो उसके लिए हम लोग को जैसे एडवेंचर टूरिज्म में हुआ, एंड अपना ये गाइड में हुआ, पोर्टर में हुआ, we need skilled people. So if we start to teach them from the school level, so we are ready. And the other thing is like this national education policy says, so there are so many skills. It says we are ready. All the private schools in India are ready if we are asked to do that. We don't know about government school because you correctly said that they lack teaching faculties also and the facilities, but private school has.
Right. So Dr. Vivek, मैं आपसे ये पूछना चाहूँगा, जैसे you are also running very big school in Himachal. इसमें जो practicality मतलब जो सब कुछ आया है, it is a very welcome thing which has come on to a new education policy. आपको क्या लगता है कि what will be the initial challenges to adopt to this new education policy? Anything in particular you would like to portray on?
मैं अपने स्कूल की बात करूं तो हम ऑलरेडी लास्ट 2 ईयर से ये चीजें कर रहे हैं. इस साल हमने अपना कंटेंट बेस्ड एजुकेशन से हटके कंसेप्ट बेस्ड पे आए हैं. तो ये एजुकेशन पॉलिसी भी वही बोल रही है कि अभी हम जो कंटेंट है वो टेक्स्ट बुक का कम करेंगे और प्रैक्टिकल लर्निंग पे ज्यादा फोकस करेंगे. तो एज ए प्राइवेट स्कूल हमें तो कुछ चैलेंजेस इतने आने वाले नहीं, क्योंकि हम लास्ट 2 ईयर से ये प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं.
ओके, ठीक है सर. सो ending on this note, it is a very welcome change which has been brought by the new education policy, and I hope the same remains for the implementation as well, and we soon see in the upcoming decade the new and the developing India according to the new education policy, and the students come out in the same way as the policy has been laid out in the paper, right? So I am extremely humbled and thankful to Mr. Soni Virdi, Dr. Vivek Thakur, and Mr. Sukhwinder Singh, who has unfortunately disconnected, I thought because of some connection issue. I thank you, sir, for joining in this session. It was very fruitful to talk to you, and Dr. Vivek Thakur as well. Thank you for your time, sir.
Thanks. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.